So hey folks, so here I am, Neil here from one of my stores that actually has just closed due to the second lockdown, lockdown 2.0. But I wanted to quickly catch up with you some of the developments that on the Amazon pallet, return pallet stuff that's going on. Now, one thing is that my channel is tiny, but I'm grateful for every single one of the 155 people. And it was only a month or probably 6 weeks ago that we were, trying to get to 100. So, it's I'm pretty, what's the word? Thankful to everyone that's subscribed. So you know that my content is a little bit behind because it always takes quite a long time. It's pretty easy to video the stuff and record the stuff, but it's pretty hard to edit it. So my videos are always a bit behind. Right now, we are processing the third batch. So the first batch arrived in January. Second batch of the entire lorry load that you saw, and if you haven't seen it, check out the other videos. That arrived in about April, May, end of April, and another batch that I ordered of two completely different stuff that we are processing at the moment. Now I take photos and upload stuff on my Facebook. So if you go facebook.com/Neil Barker official, or the link in the video below, you'll be able to see what I post. I'm not quite tech savvy enough to be on Instagram really yet, but I need to. So you'll see what we're processing there, completely different batch of 4 pallets. And then it all came tumbling down. So this time, no, it was the end of last week, I decided to actually, now we're processing those items, it's starting to look for the next one. Now this is working out really well. I'm really pleased with how profitable it is, but how good it is. In essence, it's actually floating probably my other companies at the moment through all of the COVID stuff. Or at least it's paying a bit of my wage, where on lockdown I can't really claim any sort of furlough. So it's pretty handy and it's keeping me busy. And Ben, and so I logged onto now everybody probably knows that I use A to Z B-Stock, I think they're called, websites, thanks to some douche on YouTube going, because I wanted to keep it quiet initially. You kind of got to keep your cards to yourself a little bit, but I was planning on announcing where I get it from at some point. But this guy, we all know you use this site. Well, obviously not everybody does, but, well, there you go. You've announced it. Thanks very much, pal. That's ironic because we've got a new phone system being fitted today in the shop that's actually closed. But you can't plan these things. Anyway, so yeah, thanks, pal. Thanks for being I bet you're real fun at parties. So anyway, I go onto that site probably last Thursday to start browsing through some categories, and boom, this came up. God damn. Now, actually, Brexit, and everybody has obviously heard of Brexit, hasn't really had an impact on me or my businesses up to now. However, this is the first time it's really touched it. So B-Stock have decided to roll out the rules as of the 2nd of November, which gave me about 3 days notice. I should have logged in sooner. I didn't get an email telling me that, which is a bit odd. And saying that if you're in the UK businesses can only purchase UK auctions, and European businesses can only buy European auctions. Now, for me, that was quite devastating news because A, there wasn't that many UK auctions going on. It was mainly Spanish and Polish. And B, it meant that, the costs are going to go up. And sure enough, I started bidding on stuff, and I thought, right, I'll quickly try and get some Spanish, sort of lots in before the 2nd of November. And I was outbid, and I think I then switched to looking at UK pallets beginning of this week, and they were going for nearly almost double what I was buying them at, which was crazy. And I thought, well, okay, this is going to have an enormous impact. Now, there are ways and means of getting around this, as you probably imagine. Well, let's create a European company and have it going to a distribution centre, then redistributed back to the UK or something like that. There's plenty of ways around it. And yes, that'll add costs to it, but it might be cost efficient. But one thing I'm going to do is, we're still fortunate enough to have an awful lot of items that we're still processing, listing and selling. But what I don't want to do is run dry. But what I might have to do is actually just ride out this storm, because I can imagine that, well, fortunately, there seems to be a lot more UK auctions than I've ever noticed before. It could be a coincidence. But there's also going to be a lot of all UK companies doing what I'm doing, now concentrating on what is left of the UK kind of auction market. So that means that the prices are going to go up. Is it a big gold rush, so to speak, or a big panic buy, as per everything? Then it could well be. So I might let the dust settle for a few weeks then start bidding on items in the UK again and see what happens. I've reached out to B-Stock to say, look, actually, you know, the Brexit doesn't really come into effect until January the 1st, so why 2 months early? Is it Brexit related? Is there something else in the background to B-Stock that I don't actually know about that's made them kind of decide that they're going to do this? Is it temporary? Is it because they don't know what they're going to do until a deal comes through Brexit? Is it permanent? So I've reached out to them. I'm not expecting a great deal of answers, and I am in the background going to start working on plan B and C if there is such a thing, and then see what happens. But where there's a will, there's a way. And it is sod's law, where actually I've stumbled upon something that is actually relatively profitable and seems to be working well as a concept. And I'm just about ready to grow it. And there we go. So that's, you know, that's kind of a fly in the ointment recently. Lockdown 2.0 is another one, but I got through the first one by that big lorry load. So, you know, we'll keep plugging away. And then there's the other one. There's recently on, I think it was on Lad Bible couple of weeks ago, there was one guy that basically started, he was a fancy dress costume business that realised that actually that wasn't going to do so well this year. So he decided to focus on doing exactly what I'm doing. And he's grown it in an enormous fashion in the last 6 months, to the point where he's pitched at expecting a 2.5 million turnover this year. Now that's incredible. And the guy has done amazing. I'm like, hats off to him. He's done what I would like to have done with this. But when you read the article, he started off with £500,000 investment. And, well, you know, obviously, you know, that was I probably haven't even invested a tenth. In fact, I really haven't invested a tenth of that. I'm 50 grand, to be honest. I put in, my first lot was 3 grand. So, you know, that's less than 1% of his investment. So you can see how he has 35 people and he is expecting a £2.5 million turnover. So when you start reading the article, actually it isn't quite as incredible as the headline appeals, but hey, that's media for you. But this guy has still done incredibly well, and hats off to him. You know, he's got a website, which again is all these things in the back of my mind that would seem to that worked, and his concept is exactly the same as mine. Just on a massive scale. Now I do hope, because it's quite easy to quote turnover numbers, 2.5 million turnover is a big number, but in that there might be 0 pence profit. You never really know, but you know what, hats off to the guy. It's amazing, and he's kind of done proof of concept, and I'd like to kind of mimic some of that success and the actual setup that he's got. Yeah, so that's kind of a bit of a spot-on update. My videos will still keep coming, so those of you that are interested in, I mean, hit me up with comments. I answer every comment, and I'm always interested to get ideas and people's viewpoints on what goes on, and answer people's questions if I can. Obviously, Spark Angels is my main baby my main company, and has been for 10 years for tech repairs and Apple repairs and stuff. But this is a nice little, it's not even a sideline, it's something that I am nurturing in the background. So yes, I am a busy person. Not fazed by lockdown 2.0. If anything, there's opportunities to be had. So yeah, hit us up with a follow, a like and a subscribe, and a notification bell and all that shitting. Yeah, hit me up with some questions if you've got any. I'll keep producing the content for as long as you guys keep watching it. And well, any events, if I get anywhere with the recent events for B-Stock or anything like that, and obviously I'm looking for other sites as well, yeah, I will keep you guys posted. I'm Neil, thanks for watching.